Hey, 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 people. It's me, your favorite animator ever. So today we're going to be reading my narrative thing that I made for school. I know, right? Another school project video. Isn't that so cool? Even though this was made like months ago. So let's read it. I'm pretty proud of this. My fucking teacher never said anything to me about it. She never complimented it, even though it's pure craftsmanship at its finest. So I don't know. Let's just read it. Let's just go for it. It is the year 2070, a dark time for America and everywhere else. We have polluted the earth, killed off many endangered animals, and society has practically crumbled. However, technology has advanced a lot. I mean, time travel exists in this time period. And so do hoverboards, like real hoverboards, not those handleless segways. This story begins. Well, I can't read sometimes. The story brings us to New Hollywood, Vegas, which was once Hollywood. In this area, it was once Hollywood. Isn't that cool? It was once like LA, but now it's not. In this area, a nice small apartment complex with robotic landlords resides. There are two people in this house who will help this story unfold. A single father who is a successful scientist whose name is Gary Watson, and his 7-year-old son, Randall Watson. This day happens to be Bring Your Child to Work Day at Gary Watson's lab. Gary Watson, I can't talk. And his little did they know, this day would be even more eventful than the past 5 decades. Randall jumps out of bed, giddy for this new day. I seriously, I can't read sometimes. Knowing that he was going to see some of the most advanced technology on the planet be shown off right in front of him. He runs downstairs and sees his father making breakfast. "Hey, Daddy, I'm ready to go to your work today," Randall exclaims. "Well, that's great, buddy, but we don't go for another hour," Gary says while flipping pancakes. "A whole hour? I can't wait a whole hour. I'm so excited, I think I'm going to explode," Randall yells excitedly. "All right, little dude, calm down. I'm making pancakes. They'll be ready soon. Just go watch LV," Gary says calmly. Now, you're probably wondering what LV is. LV stands for Life Vision, which is the television of the future. Everyone has an LV room in their home, which can transform the room into a landscape, or the local news, which can be traumatizing in some cases. So Randall goes off to watch LV. Gary is still making pancakes. He cracks an egg and drops it into a pot. "Please, allow me," a robotic voice says. "Oh, right, our stove can cook stuff itself." Gary walks off and sits on the couch. He thinks about how much things have changed since he was born. Gary was born in 2020 in the midst of a global pandemic. That is when things started changing for the worse in the world. When people started thinking digital pictures of cartoon monkeys were worth thousands of dollars. The time period where society started turning on each other like savages. He reflects on this and somehow thinks, I miss those days. You get it? You get it? You get it? Because, like, how nostalgia can, yeah, you get it. Yeah, that's how bad things have gotten. Suddenly, beep, 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 the stove alarm blares off. "Oh yeah, the food! Hey Randall, food's ready!" Gary yells out to Randall. Randall ends his LV session and waltzes on over to the dining room. Randall peers over the big, fluffy, and floppy pancakes before he grabs one. He grabs an egg along with it. Why did I mention that? Both Randall and Gary sit down at the dining table and start discussing how the day will go. "Well, I see a cool robot," Randall asks excitedly. I'm just going to skip some of this. They spend 10 minutes eating and discussing the kind of stuff they will see in the lab, general safety tips for Randall. After they finish their divine breakfast and decide to go out in the workplace. Randall is shaking with excitement. He cannot stop thinking about how great today will be. Every second feels like an eternity as Gary drives through the busy new Hollywood Vegas traffic. They finally arrive at a McDonald's Labs. Now, this part I have to read, which was once a fast food chain. But those days are long gone. Now they work with chemicals and process formulas, which isn't much different from what they did as a fast food chain. Get it? Because McDonald's processes their food. I'm such a genius. Off they go. Off into the giant building that houses the labs. They enter the building, and a robot servant whirs on over. Is that even a word? Whirs on over to Randall and Gary. Hello, do you have an appointment? Says the robot. No, I work here, says Gary calmly. The robot apologizes and rolls away. Randall and Gary head over for his lab, where all the magic happens. They walk by a lab center where Randall sees two men bringing a bouncy ball to life. They do this by injecting the ball with a weird serum. The bouncy ball grows 8 legs that resemble spider legs, and it crawls off. Randall looks at the situation bewildered. Oh, what a weird word. Slightly terrified. Even though seeing these sorts of things kind of scared Randall, he knew that science was scary. So he cleared his what? Okay, I don't get that part that I wrote. So he cleared his mind and moved on with his dad. They arrive at the corridor that houses Gary's lab. Gary opens the door and then he turns on the lights. As the room illuminates, Randall's face lights up. He examines the complicated and futuristic equipment. So what do you think? Gary questions Randall. Wait, no, I need to do his voice. This is the coolest thing I've ever seen, Randall shouts. Gary chuckles and grabs a lab coat for himself and Randall. Gary also grabs a syringe filled with syrup and an orange. Hey, Randall, watch this, Gary says excitedly as he sticks the syringe into the orange. The orange grows arms and legs, and almost instantly, whoa, how does that work? Gary then explained the way the serum works. The serum changes the chemical compounds of an object to make the inner workings replicate those of a creature. Objects can exhibit different traits from different creatures, depending on what chemicals a certain serum has. So, Randall, did you bring anything that you would like to become alive? Gary says. Randall pulls off his drawstring bag that he's been wearing on his back and opens it. He pulls out a teddy bear. Oh my god. This is where the conflict starts to happen. Oh no. Gary grabs the fuzzy little bear and says, "All right, I've never tried to make a teddy bear come to life before. This will be interesting." He sets the bear on the table and moves back a little bit, accidentally bumping a shelf. The shelf. What? Okay, a shelf. This shelf was holding a cup of salt, which spilled into the cup of serum. This happened to be the serum that Gary needed to make the teddy bear come to life. Gary grabs the cup of serum without realizing the salt has spilled into it. He fills the syringe, and with the serum, mistakes have been made. Oh no, this is so bad. Gary then injects the serum into the teddy bear, which causes it to twitch. The teddy bear starts to shake, almost like it's about to throw up. Oh no, the bear flops off the desk, and as the back rips open, a black ooze starts to fountain out of the bear. Oh no. Gary looks at this, and he is confused. This has never happened before. This isn't normal, Gary says nervously. Randall backs up, horrified by the situation. The fountain of black ooze gets more and more intense, until suddenly it stops. Gary looks confused. Well, I guess that serum was bugged or something. Bam! The entire room is splattered with black ooze. Gary wipes his eyes and sees a petrifying sight. The teddy bear is growing and seems to have extremely sharp, shark-like teeth and the eyes of a beast. Oh no, spooky. The bear runs out of the room. On a rampage, the bear runs out of the side of the building, falling off 5 stories. The bear makes an impact on the ground and gets right back up. Oh no, making a dent in the road. Oh no. Pedestrians passing by look at this and don't even make a sound. They all simply just run. And so does the bear. It runs to the local Dunkin' Donuts and destroys it. Luckily, that place was closed, so no one got hurt. However, a certain place was not so lucky, and this place was Walmart. Yup, Walmart is still a thing during this time, and it's just as wacky as it was during your time. Walmart is still inhabited by gross people who have no taste in clothing. The bear heads for Walmart. Gary and Randall are both in shock, simply standing there terrified at what they just did. When a fellow lab worker runs in and Gary, what did you just do? The lab worker yells. I have no idea, Gary says, his voice trembling. They quickly start to get help. While this is happening, the bear rips into the inside of the Walmart. The people are not phased at first because this is a normal occurrence in Walmart. But as the bear gets more feral and starts to rip through the Walmart, the customers start to exit calmly. The bear finally leaves Walmart. As the bear causes more destruction in the city, everyone in the lab ponders what to do. Then they remember something about stuffed animals. If stuffed animals are submerged into water, their stuffing can mold. So Gary comes up with an idea to make the teddy bear into the water at the beach. Yeah, that's true. They do mold. Um, I kind of don't like the resolution of this story though. It was kind of rushed because I just like had to finish it in one night. So they had to first get a sausage to trick the bear into chasing it, because I mean, who doesn't like sausage? They'll take the sausage and attach it to the back of Gary's car. They'll find the bear and drive to the beach and throw the sausage into the water. So that's what they do. They grabbed the sausage, which one of the lab workers was going to have for lunch, and that's so sad. I think this is the biggest sacrifice made in this story. Gary and Randall go out to Gary's car. Daddy, are we going to survive? Randall asks. Good question, Gary says, and then he shifts into drive. He floors it. Why is it? I thought all the cars were self-driving. What the heck? He orders Randall to look at the local news and see if there's been any reports on a giant teddy bear destroying the city. Randall checks and immediately sees a live news broadcast on the Barrett Star crypto, which used to be Starbucks, but bucks aren't used anymore. So funny, just cryptocurrency. So Randall and Gary go full speed ahead to Star Crypto as the bear bursts through the doors like the Kool-Aid man. But this bear is not saying, "Oh yeah," it's roaring. It's roaring very loud. Then it destroys the store. But never fear, Gary and Randall are here. And they have a sausage attached to their car, which the bear immediately senses. The bear starts to run after the car as Gary floors it again. They start heading for the beach. This bear is going at least 40 miles per hour, so Gary has to speed. After a high-speed chase, they finally make it to the beach. There was a flaw in Gary's plan. Gary cannot stop the car. Get out and throw the sausage. The bear is right on their tail. That's funny. So Gary has to drive into the ocean. He yells at Randall to unbuckle his seatbelt and open his door. They start to head for the water. But Daddy, we're about to die. Randall exclaims. There's no time, Randall. You have to jump. Randall successfully unbuckles his seatbelt and jumps out of the moving car into the sand. Pretty impressive for a 7-year-old. Gary does the same. Right before the car goes into the water, the bear jumps into the water with the car making a giant splash which washes the people who are just trying to relax on the beach away. The bear eats the moldy the bear eats the sausage, but immediately gets all gross and moldy. The bear collapses, twitches, and then explodes into black goop. Randall looks up at his dad and says, Daddy, our car is dead now. Yeah, I know, Randall. we'll just have to use those public access hoverboards as our means of transportation for a bit, Gary says. And this is basically where our story ends. The lab had to pay for the damages done to the city, and Gary was actually rewarded for finding out that salt has a negative effect on the serum. So I guess the story ended up having a happy ending, but not for anyone from the past reading this, because things will only get worse in the future for you if you don't try to change the future for the better. Your generation has the opportunity to change things, so stop focusing on the unimportant things in life and try to do your part to help the environment. Or just be a better person. And for the love of God, do not invest in NFTs. Seriously, they're not worth it. Oh my God. What an amazing ending that was. That was the end. The end. That was the end. So yeah, this narrative is called "Can You Bear the Future?" Like, get it? Like BEAR. Like, it's like a pun. You get it? It's so funny. Okay, yeah, that's my cool narrative. I kind of like this story, so like I might do something more with it. I don't know. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. Okay, bye.